What's up, JetNation? This is GreenBean, and we're going to get into all the NFL transactions. It's happening. The offseason has begun when I come back. So that's right, JetNation. This is GreenBean, and I am at one of the most beautiful spots I've been at in a long time. This is Arrowhead Lake right near Macon, Georgia. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the lake is actually purple right now. The sky is purple, the lake is purple. We are on our way up the East Coast. Lots of coasters coming. You can catch me there and check out all my coaster happenings at Full-Time Coaster Tour on YouTube. And you can also follow my trip up north to come to you guys in New Jersey and New York on GreenBean, the Jets fan on Instagram, Being the Jets fan on Twitter, and of course right here on JetNation and JetNation.com. But guys, it's happening. We have been talking about the potential moves for this offseason. Who's going to do what? Who's getting franchise tagged? Who's getting cut? Now, we're not going to get into every little move because they're happening. But I want to talk to you guys about a couple bigger ones that paint a picture for us so we can understand what's really happening and what we can expect. Number one, as expected, but as a lot of us hoped, we were hoping that it ended up this way. Marcus May was given the franchise tag. Now, this is our first franchise tag since Nick Folk got it half a dozen years ago or something. So we haven't even had a player that we've felt warranted using a franchise tag on. So I guess that's a good sign. Marcus May, the contract negotiations weren't going where they wanted them to, as evidenced by the agent of Marcus May, Mr. Eric Burkhart or something. Forgive me. Marcus May's agent went on Twitter and kind of blasted the Jets, said something to the effect of the Jets don't even want to take care of their best player. And that's not the best sign for contract negotiations. It doesn't give you the warm fuzzies, you know what I mean? So anyway, we franchise tagged him, $10.5 million. Now I want to point something out. After cutting Henry Anderson, we had just under 90 million, had 86 million. So just like that, or no, it was 76 million. So just like that, we're below 70 million. Now, this is how quick it happens, guys. We still have to hire, and sign our draft class. That's 10 million. Now, people want to talk about throwing money around. Oh, sign Allen Robinson and Joe Thuney and Marcus May and Curtis Samuel and Will Fuller and all these guys. And Lindsley, you think you're going to be able to do all that, but you can't. We happen to have the second most cap room in the entire NFL during a year when most teams are in trouble. Either they're over the cap or they're just under the cap. More than half the league are in big trouble and have to make a lot of moves. The Jets, on the other hand, are only beaten by the Jaguars for cap space. So that's a good thing. But guys, even with that money, with having the second most cap space in the NFL, we still don't have enough to do with what a lot of people's fantasy off seasons look like. Allen Robinson is looking like he wants anywhere from $16 to $20 million, right? Joe Thuney is going to be anywhere from $12 to $16 million per year. Add those two up. That's 36. Let's say on the low end, right? That's 16 and 12. So that's what? 28. Did I get it right? I'm bad, man. So that's 28 million. That's 30 million where I come from with Marcus May. That's 40 million. So we're already down to less than $30 million. With the rookies, we're in the 20s. You see what I'm saying? So it's not always feasible, these ideas that we have. And that's why draft capital is so important. So another move that highlights this point is what the Titans just did with the Miami Dolphins. Let me say something to you. I thought last year, and we talked about this ad nauseum, I thought Isaiah Wilson was overdrafted, okay? We did not think he was a first-round pick, but we were looking like late, mid to late second to third to fourth. Like, that's really where he was projected to go, probably third, late second to third-round pick. He went in the first. 1 year later, not even 1 year later, They're getting rid of him. Now, why are they getting rid of him? There was some reports of, not really caring about the team. There were also reports of him being a little bit of a troublemaker, a little bit of a divisive guy. But there were also reports that when the Titans offensive staff were interviewed, they didn't have anything to say about the guy. So there's a major disconnect there. They're not coaching him for one reason or another. And this shows two things. One, thank God we have a guy like Joe Douglas who's actually researching the guys. You have to, using your first round pick to draft an offensive tackle and 1 year later getting rid of him is an absolute atrocity. It's reminiscent, but worse, to what Mike Maccagnan did with Ja'Kai Polite. He was considered undraftable by many teams. Maccagnan uses a third round pick, grabs Ja'Kai Polite, the new regime cuts him without even getting to the regular season, right? So that's terrible. We're talking about a first round pick. They got rid of him already, and they didn't even get value for him, guys. So that's the first thing it shows is that you're not doing your research, Titans. Okay, that's not a good look. If you're using a first round pick on a player, I don't care who he is, he better last at least 2 years. You got to have a guy with at least the potential to stick around and work with them, knowing that it's a cut your losses and run after 1 year. That is a terrible move. Terrible. And I don't see Joe Douglas doing anything like that. So that's one. Number two, this is exactly what we're talking about with this bloodbath coming as far as player cuts and trades and moves and all that stuff. It's beginning right now with this one. Teams are not going to be able to sign the guys that they normally would, and teams are not going to be able to retain the guys that they normally would. So this is where Joe Douglas's 5th and 6th round picks that he's accrued over the next 2 years are going to come in, okay? The Dolphins were able to grab Isaiah Wilson, a pretty damn good right tackle. He's strictly a right tackle. They flipped 7th round picks. So the Titans get a 2021 7th and the Dolphins get a 2022 7th. So that's all this first round pick. Less than a year ago, he was a first round pick. Now you get half of a 7th round pick for him. Not even a full 7th because you got to give it back the next year. This is madness. But the real reason, it's not all the baloney about he doesn't care about football, he's uncoachable, all that stuff. This is a money move, man. They needed to dump the salary, okay? Sure, if he was playing well, they wouldn't do that. Fair enough, of course. But the fact that they saw there's a little crack in the dam here, this is a guy where we could recoup $11 million, which I think is about what they saved. There's some dead cap money, but the next 2 years, they're going to get $11 million or so each year. Forgive me if I have those exact numbers wrong, but it's something like that. So these are what teams are going to have to resort to doing. Giving up your first round pick for a flip-floppity-flu of 7th round picks is a joke. If that ever happened here in New York, and not even just New York, but for the Jets, if the Jets ever did something like that, it would never stop. There would be buildings burning. It would be the entire national media would be on top of us, laughing. There'd be clown suits all over Joe Douglas and Chris Johnson, all over the Post and the Daily News and the Star Ledger and the whatever it is. You know exactly what it would be like. And all these talking heads across the NFL would be pointing and laughing. They're a joke of an organization. But what happens? Vrabel and the Titans do it. It's not a big deal. This is a huge deal. But again, it's the money. It's the cap dollars. Teams need to do drastic things this year in order to recoup some of the money and get under the cap. They have to do it. Joe Douglas happens to have $80 million, well, around 70 now with the Marcus May signing. He still can make a few more million. Still got to cut the likes of Doxson and maybe Van Roten or Alex Lewis and some of those guys. He'll get another 5-6 more. But guys, he has the money, and we have a whole bunch of backloaded draft picks we can do some things with. This is where you're seeing the last 18 months of what Joe Douglas has been doing. You don't see his first round pick getting traded for a damn 7th, and not even a full 7th, a flip-flop 7th. I can't get over it. So you have other guys like Richie Incognito leaving. He got cut. You got guys that are on everybody's wish list in JetNation. Allen Robinson got franchise tagged. Brandon Sheriff got franchise tag. Who couldn't see these things coming, huh? Now, the rumor is that the Chicago Bears hope to sign and trade Allen Robinson, but that sucks. If you're going to give him 16 to 20 million, you don't want to also have to give up a first-round pick or something. That's baloney. In my opinion, Allen Robinson should be off unless they're talking about a 6th-round pick or something like that. There's no way. So you also have the Russell Wilson stuff. There's talk about Khalil Mack and 3 firsts for Russell Wilson. Jeez, remember a couple years ago when everybody wanted Mike McCagnon to sign Khalil Mack and give up 3 firsts for him? Remember that? I thought 2 firsts was too much, and I love Khalil Mack, man. So look, guys, it's getting dark out here. I'm not going to be able to keep this going. I want to just tell you, I'll be back shortly. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep mocking. We're going to keep looking and keeping tabs on all the free agent moves. Everything going on around the NFL, because this is it. This is our season. This is what we get as Jets fans, and we're going to have a good time. But, guys, thanks for sticking around. What do you think about the Marcus May franchise tag? What do you think about this Isaiah Wilson baloney? What do you think? It's madness. Imagine if it was us. All that said, I hope you guys are being safe. I'm coming. I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to New Jersey. I'll be there soon. I look forward to seeing some of you guys. Go Jets.